Damn.
See the one he hit like 800 feet? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the Week 1 edition of the Sunday Sideline Report on the Sports Insanity Network's YouTube page. I'm Mike Rifkin, joined by Lawrence Patchman Lang, Danny Boy, Reginald Dan Ryans, and Mark Old Ops Guy Halper. Gentlemen, we've made it to kickoff. How's it going? Actually, let me rephrase that. In the words of Nathan Moser, how's it going?
Oh, you always got to get the Moser reference in early.
I do.
You got it, because that way we don't have to mention him the rest of the show.
Listen, he is a combination of Ned Flanders and George Costanza, and I will not be told otherwise.
So he lives home with his parents and then makes obscene entrances.
No, he's a short, angry, bitter man.
He really seems like a nice guy, though.
All right. Let's dive in, because kickoff's here. Well, actually, it's in about 2.5 hours from here, but
it's basically here.
It's here.
Yeah,
it's here. We've survived another off season. Well,
we deserve this. We deserve this day.
Some of us have barely survived.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, when your baseball team is atrocious, you just look forward for football.
And then, of course, we can't have enough excitement in baseball. We got football to even get us even more excited.
And then it gets even better because hockey comes back. But we're going to dive into NFL talk this morning. We'll preview some of the bigger games, including a couple of revenge games. That should be fun. But we go back because the NFL season actually kicked off on Thursday night, where the Buffalo Bills, let's say what it was. It was a thorough dismantling of the Los Angeles Rams of St. Louis. 31-10 was your final score. Josh Allen, 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing. The Bills defense, 7 sacks, including 2 by Von Miller. And the Rams offensively just never seemed to get going, Mark.
No. In the beginning, they looked a little bit cautious. They looked like they came out and played very meticulously when this was a team that came out from the first throw last season and was throwing it 60, 70 yards down the field. I expected a lot of that. Now, I understand that you're going up against a much better defense in this case with the Buffalo Bills, and not all those opportunities are going to be there. But it just seemed like such a lackluster performance on both ends of the ball for the Rams.
Dan, your thoughts on what happened Thursday night?
So what I saw was a Bills team that, if very consistent, is a very loaded squad and very dangerous to deal with throughout the season. So that's the hope of your Buffalo, and you have that performance against a defending champion stuff. That's something that, if you can continue, that could really fear the NFL. It really can. So it's a good thing on Buffalo's front. Josh Allen had the 3 touchdowns, which is very, very good. And of course, running the football, one of his signature things, even though I honestly don't like him running because it's really dangerous. But he's a threat. He's a threat. His receivers are a threat. And again, that's just what's good for them. That could absolutely put in some type of fear into the NFL. That could really put them on a map as a really dangerous team. As far as the Rams go, Rams defensively was actually pretty solid in the first half, but they stunk in the second half. It was really bad. But the big thing was the offense not coming in, and that starts with Matt Stafford, who had a terrible, terrible game overall.
Yeah, two picks for Stafford, was, as I mentioned before, sacked 7 times by the Bills defense. Patch, your thoughts on Thursday night's Bills dominant victory?
Well, we all thought it was going to be a competitive football game, and we saw that in the first half. 10-10 at the half. It's like, okay, we're in for a great, defensive battle where the defenses are going to show up and all that. Second half starts after a Rams punt. The Bills just took over and went touchdown, getting 2 off interceptions. And it's like the Bills team it was like they went in, got the smelling salt, and woke up and said, no, we're taking care of business the second half. And they did that. The Rams, the Rams just, that's all right, Mark. I'll finish in 1 second. Then you can go. The Rams just played a terrible football game. Matt Stafford looked like he was still playing in Detroit for some reason, even though he's on the West Coast now. And it's just like, where's the Matt Stafford from last year? Matt Stafford that, was out to prove a point that he can win the big time game. And yes, this is only week 1, but Matt Stafford just did not look good. The O-line was terrible. How do you allow 7 sacks in opening week? Like you said, the Rams just played a terrible football game. And they did not just they got embarrassed with their ceremony. It was like, this was supposed to be the coronation for the Rams in the 21st century. Here in the 2020s, they're celebrating a championship from last season. And the Bills are just like, we're playing spoiler here. It's a Hollywood spoiler for you guys, and we're here to take care of business, and they did. Go ahead, Mark.
No, just one thing I wanted to point out. When you looked at that first half between Matt Stafford and Josh Allen, there were a lot of errors. But when it comes down to the point of Josh Allen's 2 interceptions, one was in and out of the hands of, I believe it was Gabe White, and it went into whoever intercepted, and the other one was just a horrible throw. That was his only 2 mistakes of that game. So going out and playing at the defending championship Los Angeles Rams and coming out with a victory, even though Buffalo, we all know, is one of the top teams in football, is very big. And it might even have to say to LA, we need more help than what we have.
Just to correct you, I think it was Isaiah McKenzie who they had the ball taken away from.
Yeah, it was Isaiah McKenzie. The ball,
Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, because I thought that play was going to be overturned because it looked like he caught the ball and then was down by contact, and then the ball came out. But that didn't happen. But yeah, it was Isaiah McKenzie that caught the ball and then lost the ball.
It was the old "give me that special." I said this on SIP the other night. I'll say it again. There needs to be an APB or a missing persons out on Allen Robinson. Because you can't sit there and tell me you signed Allen Robinson to give him 1 target. I know he finished with 2. 1 was at the end of the game, so I'm not even going to count it. 1 target for Allen Robinson. That needs to change. And I don't want to hear Sean McVay talk about Cam Akers wanting to get more involved in the game. He had 3 carries. How's he going to get into the game? 3 carries. You got to help a guy out, get him in there focused. That's a problem I had with the Rams. I just felt everything was force-fed through Cooper Kupp. And as much as we deem Cooper Kupp Superman, or as I deem him Superman, you're gonna need Allen Robinson. Eventually, you'll get Van Jefferson back, which I think will be huge for this offense. But if you open up these other guys and use them, that'll free up Cooper Kupp one-on-one. And I don't think I should explain offensive football to Sean McVay, but if I have
especially when Sean McVay can remember a play from 3 years ago.
Listen, and the other thing I'll say about this, there was one other thing I really learned during this game. I learned that Sean McDermott was a wrestler. Thank you, Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico, for bringing that up constantly. And NBC, I'm not going to get on my soapbox again, but I'm very pissed off that you would not let me listen to Ozzy Osbourne. Instead, I have to listen to a dope like Chris Sims. But that's a whole nother conversation. Today's a new day.
It's a new
So
day.
where
Yes,
does
it
Odell
is.
Beckham now, after watching this lackluster performance, is he now, are the Rams could possibly be saying, we need him, let's sign him now? Or you call it the first week and you try to move on from it?
I feel that, Rams are not going to re-sign Odell. I think Odell is going to go to a team where he feels that he can fit best. To me, the Rams are fine with that, Odell. This was just a week 1 blunder for the Rams, and hopefully they recover next week.
Okay.
They'll recover. They play the Falcons next week, so
They play the Falcons.
Let's slow the roll.
Yeah, so-
Listen, if I'm the Rams, I'd have no issues bringing back Odell.
Yeah.
Knows the offense, another weapon. Won't be. I don't know when he'll be right, but I'd have no issue if I'm the Rams. I think there's a couple of other teams that should look. I know I've heard the whole Bills thing. That doesn't make. It makes sense from a certain perspective, but I think that team's already loaded as it is. But we are still on Odell Beckham watch.
Maybe the Jets. Maybe the Cowboys.
Where were he fit with New York?
Oh, I was just throwing out 2 teams because they're 2 of ours. That's all.
Look,
That's why I said maybe the Jets, maybe the Cowboys.
I think 2 teams who make a ton of sense. The Colts, I think, make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the Baltimore Ravens.
And that adds in the with the articles last night, we had mentioned that, the one real speed threat was Hollywood Brown on the receiving end. Now they have one real playmaker in Mark Andrews and a lot of unprovens.
So speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, we have news this morning from Chris Mortensen of ESPN, who said, according to his sources, Lamar Jackson rejected a Ravens 6-year contract offer worth $133 million fully guaranteed at signing, which is more than Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's contract undeserved. That's a whole nother conversation, but well short of the $230 million fully guaranteed deal that Deshaun Watson got.
Okay.
I applaud you, Lamar Jackson, for rejecting this because of one reason. Play with that chip on your shoulder, man. Play with it. Earn your money. The Baltimore Ravens are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl because Lamar Jackson doesn't have a contract for next year. Prove all the naysayers wrong. Believe it. I'm in on the Ravens. I am bullish on the Ravens. I was last year too, but they were legitimately the Walking Dead because everyone got hurt for the Ravens last year. They're healthy. I think they're going to do big things.
Especially if
this
Lamar goes doo-doo, and then he does big things.
Well, I mean, that Monday night game in Cleveland. But Lamar turns that down.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see how this negotiation goes.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I really think that Lamar isn't crazy. I think the whole contract process, he knows that he doesn't have to sign right away.
Mm-hmm.
So he can always explore his options. However,
I also think this, sorry to cut you off, Dan. I think he knows the Ravens want him, and I think they know he knows they want him, and they want each other, and they're going to find a way to meet in the middle after the season to get it done.
But does he do it during the season as well?
Well, he said Friday was his this past Friday was his deadline of getting a deal done.
But I mean, that could always change. Just because he said it doesn't mean it won't happen.
Right. It depends on this way of what type of season is he having.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what type of season is the Ravens having? What type of season is Lamar having? If they're both having really good seasons, I just don't understand why not.
Well, also he represents himself. He doesn't have an agent in this, which it is what it is. But we'll wait and see on where we go with Lamar and the Ravens. Now, we're going to come into today's action. Let's start with another AFC North team and a quarterback we mentioned before who won't be playing because you got the Browns taking on the Panthers. Not in Deshaun Watson's debut. He's suspended for 11 weeks because of the conduct off the field that we don't have to get into. But it is Baker Mayfield's revenge game against the Cleveland Browns. I've got to tell you, if you're gonna watch a 1 o'clock game, this might be the one. Because this is a lot of fireworks written all over it, Patch.
Yes, it is. Baker Mayfield is basically coming in and saying, I'm getting revenge. You're gonna go with someone that did allegations off the field, and you trade for him, and you're basically giving me the short end of the stick, and then to rub salt in the wound, you give him the contract extension instead of giving me one. Fine, trade me. I'm going to come back and prove that you done messed up, Cleveland. Because I can't say other words because we're live, and this is not a podcast.
I'm thinking of the Key and Peele sketch where Key's the substitute teacher,
Yep.
and he goes, "You done messed up, Aaron."
That's what it is, basically.
Yeah.
Baker's basically saying, you done messed up, Cleveland, and you're going to be sorry when I'm the one I was not the problem. You guys were the problem, not trying to get me help and all that. So,
And as we've already said this, Cleveland's paying Carolina to play him against them today.
That is true. Cleveland is paying most of the contract. The other part I find interesting is there were reports that Cleveland had said they wanted an adult as their quarterback.
Okay, man, wonderful.
And now you look to see what went down with Deshaun Watson. It kind of feels like Baker drew the short end of the stick there, Dan.
I don't know if I don't know though. Like, did he? Like, I feel like
And how he was treated is what I mean.
I mean, look, obviously it didn't work out in Cleveland, and I don't necessarily feel bad for Baker on that front. I do feel bad that they went with him. They went with Deshaun over him. Like that's kind of messed up for sure. But what I will say is I hope to God that Baker Mayfield lights it
I am doing
up.
not so
He
great.
needs to
last
light it up. And I just think that if he does that, it'll give him some sort of closure. He can move on. He can, build whatever he has in Carolina for how long that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, get everything done. That's all I see from it, really.
Okay. Now I want to go big picture here with Cleveland for a sec.
No problem.
Sorry to cut you off, but as mentioned before, Deshaun Watson suspended the first 11 games of the season. Jacoby Brissett is going to be the quarterback unless injury happens. And, what is the expectations you guys have on Cleveland this year because of they're not going to be with their starting quarterback for a while? What's to make of this team?
Well, for me, sorry, Patchy.
It's okay.
For me, I expect them to be, even though they don't have Deshaun, I still don't expect them to be very good. They to me, they have some weapons, but they don't have like great weapons. They don't scare me. So honestly, this is more like a run out the team and see what you got type of thing. This is what I view for out of Cleveland. If that's a little unfair, I don't know what else to tell you. This is how I view it. I just
No.
don't take the Browns seriously. I don't.
No.
Even with Deshaun, I don't take him seriously.
No. Patch.
Yeah, I honestly I expect them to be one of the biggest disappointments this year because of what transpired in the offseason. And then right now they have like 13 players on injured reserve, and they have 2 people questionable for today. It's just like this Browns team is not going to be good. They're unfortunately when Baker was there, Cleveland had some hope, and Cleveland was back on the rise to be a good football team. They got rid of Baker, and now they're like on, unfortunately, the downward spiral to being the Browns again and being a mockery in the North.
And then flip sided to Carolina for a minute. This is a team where Matt Rule's probably a little bit on the hot seat. Baker's played for his job next year because he's a free agent after the season. They're not better than. Listen, I'll say this with all due respect. They're not better than the Bucks. I'm not sure if they're better than the Saints, but if they stay healthy, and I'm mainly talking to Christian McCaffrey, if you stay healthy, Carolina could do some things this year if they're healthy. All right. Let's keep the train roll. We talk Cleveland. Let's just finish out the AFC North because we got Steelers Bengals week 1. The Bengals coming off their run to the Super Bowl. The Steelers start the Mitch Trubisky era, which makes Mitch Trubisky very happy. The people of Pittsburgh probably not so much. Old Ops guy, your thoughts of Bengals Steelers?
This is one of the more exciting games of today. I'm hoping that Joe Burrow and crew can come out and put up performances, excuse me, like they did last year against Pittsburgh. I'm really hoping Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow get right back into that groove they had going into the end of the season and carrying it over to now. As for the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh, once Mitch Trubisky was pretty much signed, I was pretty much assured he was going to start the season. It's the right move, and whether Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett is at the second, both of them, in my opinion, they're both rookies. So I think Pittsburgh is going to have a harder time this year unless Najee Harris can get the run game going and create mismatches. But you lose Juju, so there's no more good Juju in Pittsburgh. I really think Cincinnati's going to run away with this one.
Okay, so you said it might be a tough year for Pittsburgh. Is this the first year Mike Tomlin has a losing season?
I don't want to say that because if that happens, I feel so guilty. I don't want to be the guy who jinxed Mike Tomlin. But if you look at their schedule, it's not an easy schedule. But Pittsburgh is not short of stars either. So does Mike Tomlin get another winning season? Yes. But does he do it by 5 games? No. Maybe 1 game, maybe 2.
Just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the Steelers schedule.
I got you. Don't worry.
No, I got it. I'm there. Living on
I'm there too.
Prayer. All right. So the Steelers schedule as filed at Cincinnati today. Then they play New England next week, at Cleveland, the Jets, and then this stretch before their bye week at the Bills, the Bucks, at the Dolphins, at the Eagles before week 9 bye. Then it's New Orleans, Cincy, Indy on a Monday night, Atlanta, Baltimore, Carolina, Vegas, Baltimore, Cleveland.
Okay. Before you go on, I'm going to retract. If they get a winning season, it is by 1 game. That is a tough schedule.
Yeah, especially that back half.
Mm-hmm.
That 4 and 5 of New Orleans, Cincy, Indy, Baltimore, and Atlanta. It's not easy. So we'll see how the Steelers look. But from the Bengal perspective for a second, guys, they had that great run to the Super Bowl last year. I think to the surprise of many. Joe Burrow sacked, I think it was 70 times combined, playoffs and regular season, the most ever in a season. Got sacked the most times during a Super Bowl this year. And then they went to work this offseason on the offensive line. They brought in Mark Sky, Lyle Collins from Dallas. I believe they brought in Ryan Kappa from Tampa Bay. And they brought in Ted Karras from New England as well. This Bengals team, they said, you know what? It's not a fluke run. We're going to try and run this thing back, especially while we got Joe Burrow on rookie contract, because we all know after the season, Joe Burrow, he's going to get paid.
Oh, yeah. Rightfully so.
All right. So Steelers, Bengals in the AFC North. In the AFC East, we have a big one as everyone's favorite man in a hoodie, Bill Belichick. I'm not sure if he's going to wear a hoodie today because he's in South Beach as the Patriots play the New Look Dolphins in a battle of former Alabama quarterbacks where I'm going to keep bias aside. I am. I'm excited for this game. Not just because Tyreek Hill's a Miami Dolphin, not just because it's going to be a big year for Tua Tagovailoa, but I think for the Dolphins, it's about a little bit of change. And I say that because not of the roster, but of what happened this offseason. Not with the additions or this, but because the Brian Flores lawsuit. Stuff doesn't have to be answered about that. The owner who got suspended isn't there. They could just focus on football. And I think that's a big thing for this team, that they don't have to answer those questions anymore. Now, flip side it to New England. Dan, I don't know if we've had this conversation, but we've had this conversation on the Wishbone Shotgun podcast. Cheap plug. Check that podcast, all other podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. But I'm not big on this New England roster, Dan.
Me neither, but we have to remind ourselves that we have a good coach in Bill Belichick. Even though they're not going to have a great season, you can't just be like, well, the Patriots suck, so they're just going to be a bad team.
I'm not saying they're going to be bad.
That's simply not true. Well, I'm saying like everyone in general that I've talked to has already counted the Patriots. I say you can't do that. That's such a dangerous thing to say, because if you give them any reason to feel like they're a good team, they're going to act like it. So that's why I'm not going to count them out just yet. However, I do think the Dolphins are the better team today, and I think the Dolphins will win this game. But New England, I'm just surprised by how they built this roster. The draft picks they had, signings they had, like what exactly is really going to help out Mac Jones? I just don't know. I don't see it.
Right. And to your point, like we don't want to bury him, but here is your first half schedule for them. They start today at the Dolphins. Next week's at Pittsburgh. Then they go Baltimore, at Green Bay, Detroit, which is not going to be a pushover, at Cleveland, Chicago. That should be a win. At the Jets, the Colts before their bye week. So that right there, that first half of that schedule is not good. Then they have a stretch from week 13 to 18 where they go the Bills, at the Cardinals, at the Raiders, the Bengals, the Dolphins, at the Bills.
It's gross.
That's not pleasant.
It's gross. But again,
If there's anyone not to doubt, sorry to cut you off, it's Bill Belichick.
yeah, you have to at least, at the very least, think, okay, well, the Patriots are gonna probably get their ass handed to on many of these games. But if you give them any chance, they're gonna pounce on them because it's New England Patriots and Bill Belichick's running the show. And Bill Belichick is good at his job. He's a good
Yes, he
coach.
is.
Listen, we call Tom Brady the GOAT. Bill Belichick's the GOAT of coaches.
Yeah.
Are we
You
ready to
prob-
call Mac Jones the new GOAT yet?
Listen,
Not yet.
I don't know if this is a thing, and if you're listening to us from Massachusetts, you can let us know. I wonder if this promotion has happened when Mac throws 3 touchdowns in a game. If you have your ticket, you get a free Big Mac at your local McDonald's the day after. If that partnership has not happened yet,
It needs
I'm
to.
going to be very disappointed.
It's like, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
I could see I could see the Patriots playing 500 before their bye week going into week 10. They could be, or just one game under or one game over 500 though, because they find a way to win football games. You know,
They do.
Because look at last year, they beat the Bills and the Bills were on a roll, and then they both of them fought for the division until the end of the season last year.
Right.
And then the Bills smoked them in the wild card round.
The Bills are like, go ahead.
In a perfect world, it should be, when it's all said and done, Miami, Patriots. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Bills, Miami, Patriots, Jets, but I have the Jets still going at 8 wins. So that's saying that every team in the AFC East is going to win 8 games or more.
I'll say this. I don't know how many games the Jets are going to win. I don't know. I'm not going to assume. I like the Jets roster more than I like the New England roster.
Okay. And that's a fair thing to say because the Jets actually got good players in the draft and they made some good signings to help beef up for Wilson.
I'll take the Patriot quarterback today over the Jets quarterback today.
I can't see the Jets at 8 wins, maybe 6.
Yeah.
But
I mean, improvement.
Do not say 6 wins is an improvement. I know you're trying to be nice to me, Mark. I love you, man. Cannot say that. 8 wins. 7? 8 wins. Okay. That is okay. I want a winning season. 9 wins, 9-8 or better. That's
doable.
That's improving, and I am so happy that you're saying that. That warms my heart because
I'm glad it warms the cockles of your heart. Then that's good.
Yeah, only because I think that everyone's underestimating the Jets. But again, I just don't trust it overall, and look, Robert Saleh has to show me something. He has to be a good coach.
Well, we'll see. They open up against the Baltimore Ravens at MetLife. J.K. Dobbins of the Ravens, I think, has been ruled out. He's not going to play.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
He's coming off the ACL, so they're probably playing it safe with him. But
and in week 1, you can do that. You can afford to take those chances.
And the Jets will not have Zach Wilson for the first minimum 3 games of the season.
But he shouldn't come back until week 5.
I can't believe the fact that they could have played him week 1. They were thinking about it, and then they decided against it.
Well, remember that this is the same team, and I'll get Dan in on this too. They thought the Mekhi Becton thing wasn't serious, and then we find out Mekhi Becton's done for the year.
Well, it's because the Jets are morons. They think they're trying to make us look like we're dumb and stuff. Like they're avoiding certain questions, certain answers. Like it to me, it's silly. They're not telling us the truth. Like they didn't tell us the truth with Mekhi Becton, even though on the video, we saw the video. Me and Marcus saw the video together. It was a terrible knee injury. We knew he was going to be out for the year. And then the whole Zach Wilson nonsense about how he still could have been available for week 1. He was not going to be available for week 1. He tore his meniscus. That's a recovery time of at least 6 weeks. And there's no way that he was going to be available. So again, the saga, it just continues to show how much of a disaster this franchise is. They can't be honest with the fans. Like, you can be optimistic, you have that big aspiration. I'm great with that, but be honest. Do not make us look dumb, because we're not dumb fans. New Yorkers are not dumb fans. We're not.
I'll say this, I think Mark would agree. That seems like the type of thing the Mets would have done years ago. Say, guys, day to day, and then done for the year.
Yeah.
All right. Keeping it in the AFC, we got one other AFC game to talk about, and we saved the best for last because most people and so-called experts expect the AFC West to be the best division of football. We find out this afternoon when the Las Vegas Raiders of Oakland go to Los Angeles to play the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. Now, I could have said the Las Vegas Raiders of Oakland of LA as well, but that would have just been too much.
That's a mouthful, Mike.
It's a mouthful to say.
But we got Raiders, Chargers. Devontae Adams comes into Vegas. Josh McDaniels is the new coach. Let's just talk the AFC West as a whole, because this is going to be fun. You got 4 tremendous quarterbacks, good rosters with these 4 teams, guys. Overall, and who do you guys think wins the AFC West?
If as predictions went, I have it down as, I have it as, oh my God, by the way, sorry, Denver. I have Denver winning it because I think they have the youngest roster go in that division, except for Russell Wilson. That's it. Everybody else is pretty young.
Patch?
I'm trying to remember who I have in the division too.
You want me to get it up?
I got it. I'm on it. To me, it will most likely be the close. It will probably be the closest division this year, because I feel every other division has 2 main teams that are going to be in contention for, and then you have one outside team that is going to be in contention for the division. So with that said, and we're talking the
AFC West.
Okay, the West, I had the Broncos as well, because I think Russell Wilson's going to just come in and he has a fresh start finally. He's out of Seattle, where, him and Pete Carroll weren't really on the same page towards the end. And he's out to prove that, he was worth a contract extension as well, because he got one in Denver. And now you look at the rest of the division, you got Pat Mahomes and KC. You got LA and Mr. Herbert, and then you got Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders. It's gonna be a great division all season long, but I still have Denver as the division winner.
Dan?
I mean, I'm gonna go with, for right now, this could change. I'm gonna go with Denver winning. It's gonna be a tight division. Not going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the best division, but it's certainly going to be the most competitive. With that said, Denver, I think, knows something about Wilson that we don't know, which is why they gave him such a big contract. And just for that alone, I think they have something there. So that's why I have the winning division. But don't get me wrong, the Chiefs are probably going to make the playoffs too. The Raiders might also squeak in. So let's see. Let's see what happens. I think the Chargers get the short end of the stick again, unfortunately. which is not good for the development of Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I think the Chargers actually win this division.
Okay.
I like Herbert. If Eckler can stay healthy, I like him. Mike Williams, I think they overpaid, but him and Allen make a decent receiver duo. It's the other side of the ball for me. Big Joey Bosa guy. They added Khalil Mack, who is, for me, still a presence on the field. Listen, nobody in Chicago had a good year last year, and I probably think the same thing will be this year. So Khalil Mack comes in motivated. They signed J.C. Jackson to a major deal. He's going to play against Devontae Adams. He's going to play against Cortland Sutton. I don't know who the number one on KC is going to be this year, whether it be Juju or someone else. I know the real number one's Travis Kelce, but you're not going to put your number one corner there. And Brandon Staley, I know it's 8 a.m. in LA, but I want you to be listening to this. You don't always have to go for it on 4th down. And you got to know how to use your timeouts, dude. You would have been a playoff team last year had you not called your timeout. I hope that brings a chip on the Chargers' shoulder. They don't win close games. They haven't won close games in a couple of years. And this is the team. I'm a believer in the Chargers. I think the Chiefs get in like Dan. I think the Chiefs are a wild card here. I need to see both the Raiders and the Broncos do it before I say I'm a firm believer. I'm a believer in their quarterbacks. It's the head coaches I don't trust. Nathaniel Hackett in his first attempt as a head coach. And Josh McDaniels was not a good coach the first time in Denver. So, albeit he had Tim Tebow as his quarterback. And I'll digress on that. But the AFC West should be a lot of fun. The Chiefs play the Cardinals today, in what should be a fun matchup as well. Cliff Kingsbury against his old college quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. The other big game I wanted to talk about, NFC North, the two best teams in that division. We got the Packers going to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Patch, I want to ask you this because I've had this feeling for a while. And I've said it multiple times on Wishbone. I get the feeling, this is just me, and I'm not an insider, and I'm not very smart. But I get this feeling that if the Green Bay Packers do not make the NFC title game, this could be the last year of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Agree or disagree?
It's a hard thing to I wouldn't say discuss, but debate, because you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's renegotiated his contract. He basically said, I'm here till the end, no matter what. So it's like, okay, he can do that. Or like you say, if the Packers don't make the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers just might say, all right, I'm out. I'll see you when you put me in the Ring of Honor in Lambeau. He could just say that and just go somewhere else for the remainder of his career, because I don't know what they were thinking when they traded Devontae Adams to the Raiders, because you got rid of one of, if not the best receiver in the league behind, Stephon Diggs. Juju, you can throw up there when Juju is healthy and he's connecting. You can throw Juju as one of the best up there too. But it's just like, what are the Packers doing? Like, they drafted well, but now you have, like, unless you want to count Sammy Watkins as a veteran of the league, when he's hurt, it's like he doesn't produce. So it's like Aaron Rodgers is playing with rookies basically, and they didn't go out and get him. We always talk about the Packers not going out and getting help. This is a perfect situation. They could go out and get Odell Beckham to help, because Odell can be the number one right away in wide receivers, because the wide receiver core is all young. Aaron Rodgers will make it, and Aaron Rodgers will make it work because he's Aaron Rodgers and he finds a way to get the ball into their hands. But I'm scared this season. as a Packer fan because, Packers rule the North for so long, but now it's like Minnesota can just easily come in and just go, nope, it's our turn to take the reins for a while.
And
Mm.
Alan Lazard is going to be down this week with an ankle.
So
It looks like.
so with that, you're going with Sammy Watkins, Romeo Dobbs, and Christian Watson.
And Randall Cobb.
And Randall Cobb.
And Tanyan should be back. So,
It's going to be an interesting game today. I picked them to win today, but if they lose, I understand why they lost.
Why did they lose?
You're playing in Minnesota. Minnesota has always been tough for them to go in recently and play. Minnesota defense is very good. They have good coverage.
But they also have Kirk Cousins throwing the ball.
wait a second. I am done with the slander of Kirk Cousins because the Minnesota Vikings are going to be a playoff team this year. And your boy, Michael Irvin, I'll have to find the post somewhere, said Kirk Cousins is going to win the NFL MVP.
Not a chance in hell.
I give Ezekiel Elliott more of a chance to win the NFL MVP than Kirk Cousins. But yeah, to me it'll most likely be a great game today. And like I said, if the Packers win, I'm happy. If they lose, I'll be a little upset, but I will be content with this loss. If we're looking future games, like we shouldn't. Let's see, who do we face coming up? We should hopefully beat the Bears next week. In Tampa Bay, that depending how the Bucks do, I could see us maybe losing that game too, but we can also probably beat the Bucks team as well. Should probably beat New England. We should definitely beat the Giants and Jets back-to-back, beat the Commanders. Buffalo, I could see losing to. Detroit, we should hopefully beat. Hopefully we beat the Cowboys. Hopefully we beat the Cowboys and
you don't get to have the
week 10.
excuse of Dez didn't caught it.
Listen, you listen. That's my joke to make at you. Tennessee, we should beat. Philly, we should hopefully beat. The Bears, we should beat. And then, going into week 14, when we finally have our bye, it'll be nice rest. So I can see us losing 2 to 3 games in that stretch, but hopefully it's smooth sailing to another NFC North title. Okay. But, the Packers have to finally get the monkey off their back and get past 2010 when we won Super Bowl 45 and finally get Aaron Rodgers another title, because people keep putting this way. Matt Stafford has a ring with Aaron Rodgers now. And, everyone says, oh, Matt Stafford's better than Rodgers now. And it's like, no, he's not.
No.
Well, because Matt
Stafford had a loaded team too. You look at Packers always make the playoffs and then they get beaten by a better team, but they don't have that concept of, hey, we can beat this team that is better than us because we can be on the same level as them. But because you look, everyone goes to star-studded teams. Like you want to go play. Look, everyone floods to go play with Tom Brady, and that's how Tom Brady wins his rings. He has a stacked team, but if you give him a bunch of nobodies, he can still make the playoffs, but then he'll get beat by a better team.
True.
So that's my theory, because everyone floods to the big cities. They'll flood to LA, they'll flood to Tampa to go play with Brady, but then you don't see anyone saying, I want to go sign with the Packers this year. Go play with one of the greats of our time right now, Aaron Rodgers. No one thinks that. It's like, nope, Tom Brady.
What the Packers have to do is they got to come out with the same scheme that Dallas is going to be coming out with, and that's putting A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones in the backfield at the same time. Because whether either one of them can run the ball out of the backfield, and either one of them can catch it out of the backfield. And I think that is going to help out Rodgers. I mean, only for so long till other teams pick up on it, but maybe he'll be able to grab another receiver in trade.
Yeah, that's what they'll have to look for. But we'll wait and see on what the Packers do. They play the Vikings. I think that's a later game this afternoon.
4:25 kickoff.
4:25 kickoff. if you live in the Northeast, you probably get the Giants and the Titans instead, which we all know that'll be a barn burner as well.
Sorry, Bill. The Giants are going to get
Tighten up.
annihilated. Tighten up.
All right. The rundown says next that we could do awards predictions. You could actually check out all of our predictions. The Blitzers made one, what we call. That's at www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. But Dan, I'll go to you on this first. Who's your league MVP for 2022?
My league MVP for
Yes.
2022. Right now, I have Joe Burrow.
Okay, you're gonna go Burrow. Patch.
Biased opinion, I can always go with Mr. AR, because hey, how many people have won 3 straight NFL MVPs? You can always do that. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen finds a way to win it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Buffalo finally get another person that wins MVP, because I don't know if they ever had a person that's won NFL MVP. If they have, it's probably been forever. And probably one person that comes to mind is OJ. But I'm sure that's not true.
I wonder if Thurman or Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly might have. Jim Kelly might have won an NFL MVP at one point. Can you confirm that, old ops guy?
I believe 92, 93.
Give me 1 second.
Yes, because 93, 94 was Emmitt Smith. So I believe it was Jim Kelly in 92, 93.
So yeah, there's that. I like I say, Allen's out to prove something this year too. So that would be cool to see Buffalo. You can always throw Tom Brady in there.
Well,
Okay,
he
so
can throw him in any year.
all right, OJ won it in 73.
Oh, hey, look at me. Look at that. Patchman.
Thurman Thomas won it in 91.
Okay.
And then
that is the last bill.
So Jim Kelly didn't win one. So okay, so yeah, you look at those two. So it's been a very long time. You can probably even throw Stephon Diggs up there. If he has a great season like last season, he can throw his name in the NFL most valuable player hat. There's a bunch of players this year you can throw in that category. And it's going to be a fun season to watch to see who's going to come out top with that award, because Burrow has a chance, Mahomes has a chance, Herbert has a chance, Dak has a chance. So it's going to be great to see this year, because this year it looks like it was probably competition last year, but like last year you finally saw towards the end of the season who were the front runners to win that MVP.
Okay. Old ops guy.
For me, there's only one clear person, and that's Jonathan Taylor. I think he is going to run all over the field no matter where he's playing. And whether the Colts have one of those games where they're losing by 20 points, he doesn't let up. He keeps going. I'd be very surprised if he has a season like he did last year, even with a little more improvement to it, and he doesn't get it. Josh Allen, of course, is always a possibility. I mean, as we saw, he manhandled the Rams. Dak Prescott could have a year, and that's not just me being the Dallas fan. That's me being realistic. And then I also am looking at Russell Wilson as a possibility, because he's got that team around him where he doesn't have to do it himself. So,
All right. I'm going to go Josh Allen. I just think it's the year. You want a dark horse? I said it before. It's Kirk Cousins. I'm the driver of the bandwagon, but I'll go with Captain.
You might be the sole possession of that bandwagon.
Listen, there are two guys I drive the bandwagon for. One, I will take heat on the one, and one I will not. I will not take heat on Kirk Cousins. I will take heat on Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I'll give you more crap about that one than I would Kirk Cousins.
Or not.
Listen, you're just really trying to be a pain in the neck, aren't you?
Ah, ah.
That
So,
you get the tip of the cap for that one. That was a good one.
thank you. I
I'm
Wow.
appreciate
glad
it.
I had that autograph picture signed the way I did.
That guess what? You don't get that autograph no more.
The
Sell that on
person
you.
withholds it.
You you don't get the New Age Outlaws autograph anymore. He's sending it to Bill now or Moser.
Oh no! Listen. If you're gonna send it to anyone, you send it to a real wrestling fan.
We'll
No.
send it to Dave Meltzer.
Oh, he didn't know.
Oh, he didn't know. He's gonna get it. Who the hell is Pun Master?
All right. On to some rapid fire. Couple of questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Who will be the biggest surprise team in 2022? They don't have to make the playoffs.
Ooh.
Jaguars.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say the Jaguars. I think Trevor Lawrence, now that he has a real coach and Urban Meyer's not there anymore, we're gonna
Dude,
see them.
Urban Meyer's was on Fox yesterday during the Alabama-Texas game. I was very disappointed. There was no one grinding on him while he was on TV.
Well, you know that's his own personal business, but I agree with Dan. It's got to be the Jaguars. Lawrence is finally gonna break out of his shell and bring some relevancy back to the Jaguars.
And he seems comfy too. It's not like he's, iffy about what the coach is going to do or, iffy about certain situations with the team. He's comfy. So they'll surprise people. They're not going to be like an incredible team, but they're going to be very surprising.
Mark?
As my surprise team, it almost kills me to say it, but it's going to be the Miami Dolphins, because I had a couple other teams, but when you look at the way I had as surprise teams, I had Miami, I had the Jets, and I also had San Francisco, which I know sounds weird in and as it is, but San Francisco really didn't lose anything to anybody. They still retained the team, and they're even going with the backup. So, I mean, he was going to be the starter eventually, but Jimmy Garoppolo willing to take a seat, to me, doesn't make sense at all. But yeah, as surprise teams go, yeah.
I'll say this. Adam Schefter had this on ESPN earlier. If the Niners had cut Garoppolo, there was talks of the Rams being interested. So I wonder if that played a part of it. But I would say that I'd like to say the Jags too, but I'll go different. The Detroit Lions, they're not going to be the pushover they've been. I don't trust Jared Goff, but I trust the team around him. And because they were on Hard Knocks, that gives the Lions a little bit of an edge. Reversal, the team who will be the biggest disappointment in 2022.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow,
Just saying it.
that was
No
quick
comments
and
needed,
that was
just
to the point.
Philadelphia Eagles, boom.
I apologize to Bill Murphy, Big Al, and Jeff Knapp right now. It's going to be the New York Giants. The Giants are just going to be terrible this year. They're going to be up there with the Browns, I believe, because there's no hope for the Giants right now. We're in the final year experiment of Daniel Jones. And, minus Barkley and Galladay, who does this team have?
You can't even mention Galladay because Galladay had the same amount of touchdowns as we had last year.
Oh, fine. Well, fine. We'll throw Galladay out of the way and we'll mention Sterling Shepard. Other than that, okay, Darius Slayton's all right. But, I would just go with Tyrod. Make Daniel Jones the backup.
What they should do.
Daniel Jones just needs to find a new home.
Yes.
Maybe he can go maybe he can go to Tampa Bay once Brady decides to call it quits.
Well, they got Kyle Trask.
Oh my God! I'm now imagining Daniel Jones coming in after as Brady's successor and lighting the world on fire.
He just
The anger Giants fans are going to have.
it's people can in Bill's word, he loves his Danny Dimes. I do not love Danny Dimes.
No,
the experience of Daniel Jones is over. Ship him out, and you know what? Get a new quarterback. Get a new QB. You know what? If Garoppolo finally leaves, go out and get yourself Garoppolo finally,
or draft a dude,
or draft someone new because there'll be some good quarterbacks coming in.
There's going to be a ton.
Yes, and next year's draft, yes.
And in the 2023 NFL draft, there'll be some great QBs coming out that can be the new experiment for the New York football team.
And you have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis.
The Jets should be far better than the Giants, and they should be the new rulers of the Meadowlands.
Well, which will still be empty come playoff time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
If the Jets ever become really good again, what they should do is they should keep the Giants in that dumbass swamp and go back to New York City where they truly belong.
Dan, who's going to be the biggest disappointment of 2022?
Biggest disappointment. I'm gonna say the Falcons.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like the way the team is built. Really, I think they're gonna be very disappointing to watch. Like it's not impressing me so far.
I'm gonna keep the bird theme going. I'm gonna say the Cardinals. Again, Wishbone, cheap plug. If you listen to Wishbone, Kyler got an unwarranted extension. Clifford, Big Red Bird, Kingsbury, he got an unwarranted extension. They're already banged up. Read their injury report today. That team, there's just something there, and I don't trust them. They're without Hopkins the first 6 weeks. So I don't know what they're going to look like, but I don't trust them. I do not trust the Arizona
You look at
Cardinals.
the team they have. If you look at the team they have, they can easily, with this schedule, they could go 4-2 in the first 6 games. And if that happens, you get DeAndre Hopkins back. Now, even when you get DeAndre Hopkins back, you're going to think he's going to need a game or two to shake off the rust. But if by the halfway point, they're 3 games above 500, I really think Arizona could be a surprise. But it's all going to come down to health.
See, my thing for them is the last couple of years, they've started out strong and they ended crappily. Last year, they were 7-0, and then they lost 4 of 5 to end the year 5 of 6. And then they got obliterated by the Rams in the playoffs. So, I mean, they open up. Today's the Chiefs. Next week, it's the Raiders. Excuse me. Then they play the Rams, the Panthers, the Eagles, the Seahawks, who they should beat, the Saints, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Niners, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Bucks, the Falcons, the Niners. That's not really easy. But, we'll wait and see. All right. Give me one bold prediction for today.
Ooh, one bold prediction for today. That's an interesting one. I like that.
Made some fun comments about my boys, so here it is. All right, we'll let Patch go first.
I say the Jets win today.
Oh, that's pretty bold. All right.
Okay.
Dak Prescott throws for 304 touchdowns today.
Do they win?
Yes. 34-24.
I want to know what's in the hospital food.
No, that's the morph.
I cannot name the hospital that I am in, but it is the greatest food I've eaten in a while.
That's very
And I like it. So the hospital you're in, serving the great food, I like it.
Yes.
I think it's a little bold, like our bold predictions we're doing. And if you're right, I applaud you, but I think you're a little out of the way. I say 2 touchdowns for Mr. Prescott.
Okay.
As long as they go to CD Lamb, I don't care.
Well, it's good. As I looked at the Tampa Bay secondary, I know what their front line and their linebackers look like. Their secondary is not horrible, but it's not lights out either. Dallas is missing Michael Gallup this week. He might be back next week. In safe play, I think he shouldn't come back till week 3. But I'm excited to watch Jalen Tolbert get his first action of the season. He was drafted very high to be the number 3 wide receiver this year. So we're going to get first look at him right from the get-go. He will be the number 2 starting tonight.
All right, Dan. Bold prediction.
I'm gonna say that the Colts win big today against Houston.
All right. I'm going to go 2 for the price of 1. Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson each go minimum 300 yards, 3 touchdowns in their respective revenge games. And both win.
I like it.
Baker definitely.
See,
is gonna have
I
that.
think the other one's more definite than Baker.
See, look, you got Carolina over Cleveland, and we already discussed this. So we don't have to go back into it again. If you want to look at it just as a statistical point, which we all know statistics mean shit at times, the Colts should, like Dan say, win very, very, very big. I don't know why I switched to the Colts on that. I meant
I don't either,
Carolina.
but I'm going to transition off of that.
He's going to win this game. I don't know if Russell Wilson will throw 303. I'll give you 275 and 2.
Listen, he's going to go throw 3. The third one is going to go to DK Metcalf in the middle of the game.
I like it.
Russell Wilson's going to throw one to DK Metcalf.
Oh, yeah. During pregame warmups.
I was about to say, unless DK comes in on that Hail Mary and intercepts it and then returns it, that's a shot.
I was waiting to see if you were going to get that, but all right. Before we close out week 1, Super Bowl picks coming in. Who you got? Who you got in the Super Bowl and who wins the Super Bowl, Dan?
Who wins the Super Bowl? Well, first of all, I have the Buccaneers and I have the Ravens in the Super Bowl. And I have the Ravens winning.
I'm not asking old ops guy. I know where this is going.
All right, how about you second?
I got the same thing as Dan. I got Ravens Bucks. I got the Ravens. This is why you're going to pay Lamar Jackson big money.
Pat, go ahead.
I have the Bills and the Packers and the Bills winning.
Dallas and Denver. Dallas wins 34-28.
All right. That'll do it for the week 1 edition of the Sunday Sideline Report. You check this out at the YouTube page of the Sports Insanity Network. Check out all of our great podcasts at Anchor, Spotify, Google, iTunes. Check out all of our blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles at www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com. And you can check us out every Sunday morning. We're coming at you with SIN Sunday Sideline Report. But for Danny Boy, Reginald, Dan Ryans, Lawrence Patchman Lang, Mark Old Ops Guy Halpert, I am Mike Rifkin. Thank you for tuning in to the week 1 edition of the Sunday Sideline Report. We'll check you out next week. Enjoy the football, everyone, and namaste.
And watch football with your mama and papa today because it's Sunday night. It's Sunday football. and it's family day. Watch some football with your parents today.
Also, if you're interested in hearing a good game tonight, some of us will be live during the Dallas Tampa game.
So come join us for that as we watch Sunday Night Football and we react to today's football games.